Alright, we've got a few different runs today, all revolving around the Scorpion, which is one of my least used units. I guess in the olden days I probably did buy it quite often in Turtle Pack, but I almost never take it in custom packs. I just don't think it's very good in customs where there's ailments flying everywhere. But I wanted to try and build something around it based on an idea I had randomly the other day, and it turned out that the idea was not going to work. It would have worked in the past, but it does not work now. So the original plan was to have a really stupid team where the Scorpion would have Donut. We would have multiple moose giving the Scorpion health, and then there would be a walrus at the front. So essentially we'd be giving Peanut back to the Scorpion that had lost it. However, I got pretty far with a few runs, and then eventually when I got the setup, I realised that Walrus doesn't work like that anymore. Walrus gives peanut butter, which probably wasn't the greatest change because it's kind of garbage now. But anyway, yeah. The setup I originally wanted doesn't work, so I ended up recording some different things instead. So what I also wanted to do, along with that Scorpion setup, was have a Gerenuk. So Gerenuk is going to remove the equipment on the opposing units. So in theory, the Scorpion should get a free hit, assuming it doesn't lose the equipment. So I think, yeah, we're just going to take the Fly Trap and play it second last so that we can potentially get a level up from the Gerenuk surviving the next battle, which is fairly likely to do, I think, given that we've got the high stats Porcupine. However, we then face Dolphin plus Parrot, so the Gerenuk gets removed. And we do win, but unfortunately the only pet left is the Venus Flytrap. And it's interesting to say that it says previous remaining pets Venus Flytrap, but just above that it says can't stock itself or anglerfish. So yeah, I guess if I sell the Flytrap now, it just doesn't give me any choice. So I just kept it for another turn, and I think we will get the Gerenuk surviving on the next round so we can actually make use of the Flytrap. Very high amount of HP provided by the mana from the Thunderbird and the Gargoyle converting it into health. But yeah, not enough there. Every hit the Porcupine was dealing 6 damage back, so that worked out perfectly. We get the Gerenuk for the level up. I can't remember if at this point I'd realised that that Walrus wasn't going to work. But one of the other possibilities in the pack was Amargasaurus. So if we can get the Scorpion to have extremely high HP, then every time it attacks, it will just get the health back, and it doesn't matter too much that it doesn't have high attack. So, and I think I take 2 Amargasaurus here, but I think ultimately they will just get combined together. We don't have the Moose or the Scorpion yet. Although I guess it's possible maybe Moose isn't in this team. I can't remember. Okay, no, we get it here. So we're going to sell the Sea Lion. I freeze the Donut as well. So this probably is before the point where I realised that Walrus isn't going to work. Maybe we'll actually see it happen in this video. I can't remember. And freezing up all the tier 1s, of course. Yeah, freezing the Donut doesn't matter because it's going to get unfrozen by the Moose. It's kind of force of habit there that I unfreeze all the pets in the shop as well. The Moose does it automatically, so you don't need to do that. Now here's Vulture Guy, but we do have Porcupine, so we really just want the Vulture to hit the Porcupine, which it does. Although we need it to happen twice, otherwise the Vulture's not going to get knocked out. Oh, not quite. Maybe we're going to be okay here even without the automatic knockout. No, I think we're going to lose. Yeah. I guess we could have tied there if the Porcupine had sniped back twice, but that would have been pretty unlucky on the opposing team's part. So I guess I'm just rolling for Scorpion now. We do get the Amargasaurus level. And there's the Scorpion. So I think I just take the level up. There's only one tier 1 in the shop, but hopefully it will hit the Scorpion with the buff, which it does. I mean, still 8 HP is pretty terrible, but look at this. We get the immediate knockout on the Llama. It's so funny how Scorpion is one of these units that can really cause you serious grief when you're playing against it. but it's immensely satisfying when your setup actually works and you get the instant knockout. So I guess I'm just double checking the pack there. Maybe because I was thinking about whether or not to keep the porcupine, but I roll another scorpion. I think the health has been boosted a little bit from Foo Dog. So we'll just sell the porcupine. It's done good work, but it has to go, and we'll bring in another scorpion, which also kind of insulates us a little bit from the fact that there's so many ailment teams on the go. And then we'll just roll down for our tier 1s. Yeah, we can't freeze the chocolate. Or yeah, we have to just buy it now. Unfortunately, double tofu would have been great with chocolate, but there's nothing we can do. Another team with no protective equipment at the front. However, they do have Abomination plus Mantis Shrimp, so we lost the other Scorpion. Or maybe it was a Dolphin, not Mantis Shrimp, because it was the second position Scorpion that got hit. Or maybe it was Hawk. I didn't really check. But now the Moose is really the only thing we care about. Scorpion has the one major benefit of the fact that you don't need to level it up. So you get the full value of its ability at level 1, which is pretty much its main selling point. Unfortunately, we lose here, even though the Scorpions did manage to knock stuff out. Yeah, I think it's worth just buying some of the health food to try and make sure that the Scorpions aren't going to be sniped. And then we'll just take stake on the Moose and roll down. Okay, 3 tier 1s is not too bad. Obviously, we do miss out on one of the benefits of Scorpion as we actually face Nick here. I'll link Nick's channel in the description. We lose out on one of the benefits of Scorpion is, you know, if you're scaling it normally, if you get it to 21 attack, it's going to instant kill through Melon anyway. But I guess that's partly the reason for the Gerenuk. It's not guaranteed, you know, with level 3 Gerenuk, you could end up removing Melon or Mushroom or something from the units at the back, I think. I don't think it automatically targets the frontmost units. So, yeah, it's. I guess I was thinking here about Blueberry on the Amargasaurus to try and avoid the Scorpions getting hit by random ailments, but I think, honestly, it would be better if we just got some good equipment. Now here I think you'll see a change. I think this did not used to work this way. That Pepper used to block Peanut if it was only from one attack. So I think in a previous version of the game, those 2 Scorpions would have failed to knock out the Dodo or the Rooster at the first hit. But we do get level 3 Gerenuk now, so we should be removing a lot more equipment. And Gerenuk does, yeah, like I was saying, Gerenuk does target the best perks. So on 9 wins, we end up facing this buy-sell team. We remove Coconut, was it more than one Coconut or just Coconut and Melon? But it doesn't make any difference because their whole team is massive. Alright, on to the next one, and I think this is probably at the point where I've realised that Donut doesn't make any sense. I think maybe in the previous game we just didn't find Walrus. But in this one, we've got the double Moose online very, very early, although we only have 1 Scorpion. And I think, yeah, I think I'm just going to run the Gerenuk separately here. It doesn't matter too much in terms of the health going to waste because the Scorpion's already at 46. The Gerenuk's maxed out and one of the Moose is on 50 now. Now, Lollipop would obviously make a lot of sense with this team. However, I think there were a few runs, or at least the bulk of the runs, I deliberately didn't have Lollipop in the pack, or if I did, I wasn't using it. Because I wanted to try and win, mostly based on the HP. But I feel like at some point I did end up putting it into the pack, because a lot of these games would go very, very late. You know, I would start tying with a lot of teams. A lot of the time, the Scorpion's not going to get loads of knockouts because they're going to have high attack units. You know, there's loads of people playing Behemoth. There's loads of people playing Coconut on the front unit. So our 150 Scorpion is going to get instantly knocked out by a Coconut unit with 50 attack for no loss. So that, yeah, there were tons of games that went very late. And at that point, you just can't really win with HP alone. I guess maybe if you'd played the old Walrus that would be able to give everything Peanut, you might be able to have a better chance of trading a bunch of times. But you can see here, you know, with one attack, the Scorpion doesn't even get a knockout on the second big unit because it gains melon before attack, which is one of the main weaknesses of Gerenuk. So we'll level up the Amargasaurus and Gerenuk as well. Now there is Mongoose there, and there were some games where I played, I took Mongoose thinking that it would give Peanut to the Gerenuk in second position, or whichever unit was in second behind the Scorpion. But of course all it does is overwrite the Peanut with Peanut Butter because they're considered to be different perks. That actually might be a reasonable change for Walrus and Mongoose, is that if, I guess it doesn't really affect Mongoose in Puppy Pack, but you know, if Peanut Butter would automatically skip over Peanut, that would make more sense than overwriting it completely. So yeah, I think this is it. Okay, we are going to see it happen. So I take the Peanut Butter. I almost never take the Peanut Jar toy. To be honest, in the previous version with Mongoose giving Peanut, I think I mostly took Coconut anyway. But you can see here what happens. The Peanut Butter just overwrites the Peanut. And so instead of getting 2 knockouts, which would, I think, have won us this game very comfortably, we actually lose. Hey, it's Draxian. That was, yeah, okay, I'm double checking the Peanut Butter ability. That was a pretty disastrous misplay. So I think at this point, yeah, I'm just going to move the Scorpion to be second position instead of first, because we know that we're going to lose the permanent Peanut. I guess I could have also just brought another toy in. Like there's a Gharial there, I could have replaced the toy, but probably better just to keep the Peanut Butter for one more turn. Not exactly sure what I was rolling for here. I mean, the tier 1s don't matter because everything's already on 50 health. And we do actually waste the... yeah, we waste a bit of the Amargasaurus buff there because, yeah, I think if the Amargasaurus hadn't had to waste the health on the Gerenuk at the front, we probably would have won that because the Scorpion would have traded better, I think. Not sure. You can go back and rewatch if you really want to check. But yeah, I think at this point we're just getting to that stage of the game where I just don't know what to do. I've maxed out my health. I've already committed to trying not to use Lollipop. And we end up facing this Jersey Devil team, which looks pretty strong. We do get a bunch of knockouts with the Scorpion, but the problem is that the other units on our team have very, very low attack. So their high health actually kind of goes to waste. I don't know if I had Chili in this pack, but it does look like we're going to be okay in the end. I think the Jersey Devil not being level 3 there probably saved us. Might as well just go for the level up on the Amargasaurus. Now we get another Scorpion. So we're just going to change the order, and I put it first. I guess maybe you could make a case for putting it second, because then the first Scorpion can tank Mantis, Shrimp, Snipes, but I think also I was worried about the puppy toy that just puts weakness on the front unit. But it is a very comfortable win here on turn 19. I think we'd removed Mushroom on the Pink Robin at the front there. So we'll just take the stake. Okay, yeah, you can see there was Lollipop in the pack at this point. But it looks like I'm just going to be stubborn. And I end up facing Casper here. This player only plays the same team. The exact same lineup. I'm not sure what it is about these units. Maybe they're just all their favourite pets. But I've lost many a game to them, and that one is going to be no different. And then we've got one other clip here. I think you'll see what I mean. Yeah, we've got Scorpion with Peanut at the front, and we lose as a result, I think, of that happening. Yeah, I think if the Scorpion hadn't lost the Peanut there, it was definitely a win. So pretty frustrating, but yeah, not atypical. Now we've got one more run from the replay system. This is in the same pack, although at this point I wasn't committed to my lineup anymore. I just decided to keep playing and try and make something happen. I wasn't deliberately going to go for the same squad with Moose and Gernuk and so on. I can't remember exactly how this begins, but yeah, things are going to take a bit of a turn partway through. I think probably I do get Moose in this one, but I can't remember. So we're just going to take some of the usual stuff that I like to take in the early game. We've got Anteater, Platypus, Foo Dog, still one of my favourite new units from Unicorn Pack. I guess maybe at this point calling Unicorn Pack new is probably incorrect because it's over a year old, well over a year old now, which is crazy to think about, but yeah, there you go. Definitely going to lose here, but that's okay. We had 5 hearts, so we're not really surprised. And we were keeping stuff frozen for the level ups on turn 7. So we get Crocodile. And for some reason I decided not to take the other level up there. I think we're maybe going to be okay here. Oh, actually the Falcon is going to copy the Ant. Yeah, and the Ant buff ends up landing on the Falcon, so it gets another activation. I think, yeah, the Platypus is going to be able to knock out the Falcon in the end, but yeah, we do lose. Maybe that could have been different with different Ant hits. And here we go, we get our first Scorpion with 7 HP already because of the Foo Dog buffs. Unfortunately, it immediately faces a skunk team, so the extra health doesn't really help the Scorpion at all, but it doesn't matter, we win anyway. And now we get the Moose. And I think in this one, what I decided to do was sell everything so that the Scorpion just got the whole lot. Maybe that's going to happen next turn. Yeah, I'm just going to sell everything. We get the full shop of tier 1s, although I think I did roll past at least one tier 1 there. And the Scorpion goes up to 42 attack. 42 health rather, in one turn. And it completely sweeps this Husky team. You always love to see Husky with no turtle when you've got Scorpion. Lizard can just be bought sold here. And then I roll another Scorpion. In fact, I rolled past another tier 1 there, so I'm not exactly sure what was going on. But we can use Flytrap every time we find it, as long as the Scorpions stay alive. So clearly here we're going to go for a full team of Scorpions. And I think I also set myself the challenge in this of them being all 1 attack. Now unfortunately the Scorpion at the front has 2 attack. I think that was that from a buy sell. I think that was from the Platypus. Selling the Platypus and the Beaver giving 2 attack, and one of it went to the Moose and one went to the Scorpion. But we do have Broccoli in the pack, so we can sort that out if we really want to commit to the 1 attack Scorpions. Here's Nick again. Once more, the link will be in the description for Nick's channel. And we might as well just keep the Moose until all of the Scorpions are maxed out on health. There we go, we get the Broccoli. Now that the one at the front is at 50, I think the Moose automatically bypasses it as well. And here's another Nessie roll scam team, but I think actually we're going to be fine because the Scorpion instantly knocks it out. Yeah, I guess I haven't frozen another Scorpion at this point because the Moose is just going to unfreeze it anyway. So we might as well just try and accelerate to getting to the full 50 health on everything. I actually don't think that's going to be possible. This is a pretty nasty looking team with level 3 Leopard. But the extremely high health on the Scorpions allows us to trade favourably. And that puts us onto 8 trophies. I think maybe one more turn of Moose scaling and then we're just going to have to hard roll for the last Scorpion. I'm not sure, you can't really do much to throw with this particular team. And then we face Rhine Shadow Golden and our whole team almost gets wiped, but that extremely high health on the Scorpions allows 2 of them to survive. And so now we can use the Fly Trap. I guess that's another reason we didn't necessarily have to freeze Scorpion. And I sell the Moose maybe a little bit sooner than I wanted to. But then look at this, Coconut plus Doberman. But the high health means we knock out at the second hit. Again, Pepper doesn't protect anymore. The Cobra actually could have sniped, killed a Scorpion there with the Mana Snipe. But in the end, we still have 3 Scorpions left, a grand total of 5 attack on our team on turn 15.